Hey guys, David here with a quick video that has been kind of rummaging in my brain aside from this cold that I'm kind of battling, which is why I can't bring you guys that special review that I've been talking about that I really wanted to post in the place of this video, but I just feel like I just can't do it right now. I don't feel shitty, I just feel like I sound and look shitty, and I just feel like that's gonna compromise the video. So I'm gonna put it off for at least another week or so where I'm not sniffing and coughing every 5 minutes. So I'm just gonna put it off for a while and instead talk about something that's kind of been, like I said, rummaging in my brain for a while now. So the Game Awards just happened, and along with giving out awards for some of some of the year's best games, they also unveil some brand new stuff. They release some new trailers of things yet to come, either by the end of this year, within the next month or so, or things to come early on next year in the gaming world. And one of the things that was actually announced was from Telltale Games, which is a episodic series on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. And we saw a new teaser trailer, which I did watch, and you got the floating cassette tape player in outer space, and you hear a song that is very reminiscent of that time that Star-Lord was taken away from Earth, where he's got that, like in this trailer, it's pointed out to be a rad mixtape, not an awesome mixtape, a rad mixtape. So Telltale's already setting themselves apart. But I was totally expecting them to play Hooked on a Feeling. Ooga chaka. I was expecting to hear it again. One more time. Even though it's getting kind of old now, I was expecting them to play it because it's a staple for Guardians of the Galaxy. Only to find out they were playing a different song, so I think that's kind of Telltale's way of saying, hey, we understand the type of tone that was set for this property from James Gunn's film, but we're gonna at least try to do our own thing. That's the vibe that I got from the trailer, but overall it's just a teaser trailer, shows that, and then it shows the title, and that's it. And at first I was stoked because I love Telltale, I love Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's based on a comic book property, so they can kind of take a comic book aesthetic to it, where they can kind of bring forward that cel-shaded look that they kind of kicked off with The Walking Dead. So tackling another comic book property, they can kind of replicate that, and it could be charming as hell, and it could rope me in. But then I got a little concerned, and the reason for that is because one of the ongoing complaints I've been having with the current Batman Telltale series, and this is kind of well, not so much a spoiler for the story, but a spoiler for the actual game overall, in case you guys haven't been watching my reviews for that series that's going on right now that Telltale's putting out. One of my complaints is that some of the technical aspects about the game, whether it be visually or aesthetically or gameplay wise, aren't fully polished. Like sometimes there was one episode where the audio was completely out of synchronization with the visuals, and it really took me out of the experience because I would hear Bruce's voice and then Bruce would finally start moving his lips, and I'm like, come on, it's 2016, it's a point-and-click adventure game, we shouldn't really have this problem. And the hypothesis that I kind of developed for myself as to why this is the case is because Telltale is biting off a little bit more than they can chew at the moment, because while they were working, or at least putting the finishing touches here on Batman the Telltale series and started releasing all these episodes, they, I'm certain, were working on the third season for The Walking Dead, which also got its own trailer here in the Game Awards, and it was also unveiled that the first 2 episodes of the 5-episode season 3 of The Walking Dead are going to be released in literally just a couple of weeks, like in 2 or 3 weeks, December 20th. Really? Now we're doing 2 for once. We're doing 2 episodes at a time. And I believe it's only 5 episodes. Usually all of their seasons are only 5 episodes. I think the only exception was Game of Thrones, which was 6. But even then, please, for the love of God, please do not tell me you guys are rushing through The Walking Dead so you can get through Guardians of the Galaxy just in time for the second movie to come out in May. Please, Telltale. Honestly, at this point, I feel like after Guardians of the Galaxy, you should take a break, because I know that you guys got other things up your sleeve, but I really do think you guys need to take a break, refine your gameplay, refine your stories, and refine your visuals, because without sounding too heinous or cynical, when was the last time we had an amazing Telltale game? For me personally, the last great Telltale series was Tales from the Borderlands. I had an awful lot of fun. It was one of my favorites of last year, and that was actually last year. But when you consider the fact that since then we had the Game of Thrones, we're currently having Batman the Telltale series, and we also had the Michonne spin-off, which was based on a property that they started off with, and they made ripples, like just they made the waves of being one of those high tier development teams, because when that first season of The Walking Dead landed, it was getting Game of the Year nominations left and right, and it was a very revolutionary way to tell stories through video games. A lot of people consider that first season of The Walking Dead from Telltale to be kind of like art in some respect. It was compared to the likes of The Last of Us, BioShock, the coup de grace. Now in 2016, can you remember a significant moment from that Michonne spin-off series? Yeah, neither can I. It was only 3 episodes, it was done and over with, and it wasn't that, well, it wasn't bad. It was actually kind of good, but it wasn't like The Walking Dead Season 1. Not even Season 2 was like The Walking Dead of Season 1. And that has me a little concerned for Season 3, because they're releasing 2 episodes in just one day. That's a little bit too much to digest, and bringing those reviews is going to be a little bit of a challenge. December 20th? Oh my god. Now, if I were to try and be a little bit more optimistic, I would say that that trailer that they released during the Game Awards for Season 3 of The Walking Dead looked pretty sweet, at least from a visual perspective, because it showed Javier's introduction to the zombie, or at least to the walker on the onset of the zombie apocalypse, and from a visual standpoint, it had some cool, really well directed shots. Like, they were playing with like the depth of field. That shot of the hallway where you see the girl down the hallway and the door opens so you see the shadow in the distance, but the way it's kind of like stretched out using that depth of field very effectively, I really loved that shot. I really did. And then that whole scene unfolding inside of that bedroom with the grandfather being turned into a zombie and having kind of like this handheld look to it, that actually did get me kind of psyched. But then they had to bring forward the announcement that they're going to do 2 episodes at a time, and then we got Guardians of the Galaxy looming in the distance. I'm, for the lack of a better term, cautious for the future of Telltale. But if Season 3 of The Walking Dead comes out and it's either glitchy or the story's not all that great, then not only am I going to be very, very skeptical of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I really do think Telltale has to take a break and focus on their stories, focus on their gameplay, and go back to just releasing 1 at a time, because they're just taking on too much, and I just can't take any more of that and be spending on money on seasons that I am kind of betting on the future episodes and paying them ahead of time as they get released without having all of it to digest at once. And after every episode, I'm going to be like, oh, that was glitchy, so the next one's going to be glitchy. Oh, that was a bad story choice that they went with. The next one's going to be affected by this. I don't want to be dealing with that, or at least I don't want to be scared that I'm going to have to deal with that in the future. And I know that the most recent philosophy to kind of undertake with this sort of thing is to vote with our wallets and just not pay for it until we start to see the reviews and we start to see the word of mouth kind of be spread and say, oh, this is good or this is bad. And don't get me wrong, I might actually take that philosophy in and actually start looking at the reviews ahead of time rather than be purchasing these properties day one without knowing what I'm getting myself into. But I just don't want to do that, because Telltale started off on the perfect foot with some beloved properties that I really don't want to go to that choice. But if I have to, I will. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of Telltale taking on all these different IPs and properties, these very famous properties like from the likes of Marvel and DC and comic books and TV shows, and turning them into their own series, only not doing as great as they did back initially when they were either doing the very beginnings of The Walking Dead, or even prior to that when they were doing Max and God, I can't remember the name, but the detective dog. But they're old school Telltale series that were actually pretty damn good. What do you guys think Telltale should do, or what they could potentially do with properties like Guardians of the Galaxy? And being that this is a brand new announcement, are you guys excited for Guardians of the Galaxy being a Telltale series? What do you think what type of story, what type of visual aesthetic are they going to present in that new series next year? Should it come out next year? Please let me know in the comments, like and share this video, and subscribe for future videos talking about the latest things in movies, games, and TV shows right here on Dark Spider David. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm trying to reply to many more comments coming in the recent weeks, because I'm trying to be a little bit more social, a little bit more community involved with you guys who have been watching, who have been commenting, who have been liking. I want to be more involved with you guys, so not only am I replying to some more comments, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. Hopefully it does not backfire on me. But if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, I've been having an Instagram for for like a good year or two. So please follow me on there, just like my Twitter, DarkSpiderDavid. And if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, at DarkSpiderDavid, same exact deal. And I'll try to share more details, more visual details about my upcoming videos and stuff like that on said Instagram as well as Twitter. So hopefully you guys will be there to check that out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.